All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste too much more time. We already have a lobby, so what I'm going to do right away is take you to the bracket. Excuse me. As you can see, it looks like we are the first and only match to have completed so far. We are starting at the top of the bracket here. Brawl is Life were able to 2-0 New Game Plus, and now they have to play against the #1 seed heading into this qualifier. The dramatic silence is because it is Team Alexander. Also because I accidentally hit my mute button. Team Alexander came second in the first qualifier, which is not enough to qualify for Storm Division, but it's enough to get them a lot of points. So, this is our matchup. Team Alexander, new game. Team Alexander versus Brawl is Life. Team Alexander from South Korea versus Brawl is Life from North America. And ladies and gentlemen, I will show you the maps quickly because the match is starting. Oh, hang on, we just got another result. What was it? We take these. Beat FKC Gaming. Nice, that was perfect timing. All right, let's have a quick look at the maps as we are heading in. As you can see here, Team Alexander have opted for first pick and first ban, meaning that they banned out Braxis and Cursed, whereas Brawl is Life banned out Sky and Battlefield of Eternity before taking us to Sky Temple. These are our maps, and now I won't waste any more of your time because the match has started. Let's get into the draft. Team Alexander going to be taking the first ban. They ban away Ana with Brawl is Life, taking out Cassia. Excuse me, no target bans for now. There goes Garrosh, one of the top heroes at the moment, going to be taking him out. Brawl is Life very nearly learnt that the hard way, as the Garrosh from New Game Plus very nearly turned on them and very nearly put the game in favor of New Game Plus. But Brawl is Life were able to vanquish them in a 2-0. Let's see if they can do so to our South Korean team. Brawl is Life, banning away the Deckard Cain. Speaking of which, I should change the stream title. Team Alexander. And update. Excuse me. And there's the first pick. Gonna be May coming in for Team Alexander with Deckard Cain removed once again. Now, they played May last time, and there was actually a little bit of controversy because they accidentally picked Avalanche because they had not heard that Avalanche was banned, so the game had to be remade, but they were still able to become victorious over Regen, the team they were playing against at the time. Excuse me, before losing in the grand finals. Abatha and Greymane going to be the opening for Brawl is Life. They're giving themselves that global potential and that big burst play with the Greymane. Of course, Greymane a fantastic hat target as well. Very solid early round. Team Alexander, though, they now have the potential for first pick on off lanes. Bacon Pancakes! Thank you very much for the follow. Great name. Stukov coming in, as well as Reyna. Excuse me. Stukov, very safe hero. Gives them a good turnaround play against a Greymane. Flailing Swipe to disengage against a whole team, which turns out to be a Bloodlust composition. It's a safe pickup, even if it isn't. And if not, then, well, Massive Shove would still be pretty decent to disengage from just Greymane if he decided to dive that backline. They have plenty of options here. And Reyna, very good combined with May. Lots of slows coming in from May, which makes Ace in the Hole a value talent. And if not, then we already know the Exterminator is a really good pushing ability. Team Alexander. Second ban with Tass. Removed from play. They're going to ban a Nubarak. Now, that's interesting. I would not have seen a Nubarak as maybe one of the top priorities here. Clearly a difference between the American and the Korean style of play here. Because a Nubarak into Reyna or versus a May, I would have considered to be quite risky. But they have chosen to ban it, prioritizing it quite high as it turns out. This could also mean that they plan on picking someone very ability power focused who could be shut down. Or someone who's going to get a lot of value taken away by Cocoon. You're going to be seeing Johanna as the main tank for Sweet Buns. Worked really well in game #1, why not? And Thrall coming in as the next pickup here. That gives them that off-lane potential. Good damage, good poke, percentage damage later on as well at level 7. Gives them a lot of control, a lot of poke onto the objective. Very sensible pickup. Nothing too hard, nothing too soft. As we see Yrel, though. Yrel has a very solid matchup into Thrall. Thrall just has to kind of stay back and poke. As Sylvanas is the final pickup here. Very safe, very standard draft here from Team Alexander. Nothing too out of the ordinary other than the ban on an Uberak. So now Brawl is life. Yrel is going to give Thrall a very hard time. What is their counter to this? There's the Rhaegar. So Thrall just has to deal with this. They don't go for any kind of meme drafts with solo support Abathur like we used to see in the latter days of HGC, because it would have been pretty rough. As we see a follow from someone I cannot read the name of, I'm afraid. Oh no, it got translated. TKFRKEH2. Thank you very much for the follow, and thank you, Twitch, for translating that for me. So, Team Alexander, very safe draft here as Brawl is Life have gone for what is almost certainly a bloodlust draft, which means they are going to have to play into the Stukov Flaming Swipe disengage and the potential Ice Wall as turnaround play. They have to be careful, but this could be good. This could be a solid pickup because, again, the snowball potential, even though they're against May, is in favor of Brawler's Life. But Team Alexander, they have what is a more standard, effective composition as we're going to head in to game number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side, hailing from South Korea, it is going to be Team Alexander with Nacho Jin playing on the Raider. Lockdown on the Yrel, Gondar on Sylvanas, Spell is going to be playing on the Mei, and Hyde is going to be playing Stukov. Whereas on the right-hand side, Brawl is Life, hailing from North America. It is going to be Death by Strikes on Greymane, Vivanchi on the Rhaegar, Ryokai playing the Thrall, Sweet Buns on the Johanna, and Drug Dwarf is going to be bringing out the Abathur. Let's get this underway. Lockdown, looking to see if anyone was in position there. Not going to find anything. It's a little bit of damage. It's a full split up to begin with. Safety first. A silver attempt on the tower was made. Immediately denied by Sweet Buns and Death Strikes here. Very nice to see. They shut that down. They even have bring down the Rhaegar to assist with Death Strikes and put Thrall in the mid lane, leading Abathur to currently soak the uncontested top lane. Has to be careful though, as Yrel is on the way up, and they will have to rotate this up. Thrall will likely have to head up the top lane and deal with this. Let's have a look at these level 1 talents as we get this underway. It is going to be a standard echo of the elements. Rhaegar with Colossal Totem. Going to be going with a more standard build compared to the last game we saw, full Bloodlust style, and the pressurized glands. Everyone here is a good hat target. This is a more classic symbiote build. The shield build is good, but it does just get eaten very quickly here. Mei, again, also a more standard build here with heat transfer. Not going to be seeing too much out of the ordinary there. And we have Exterminator coming in for Reyna, sorry. Not going with the ace in the hole that was synergized so well with the Mei, are instead going for the counter push. Going for the split push style to make the most of the fact they're against an Abathur. They need to be able to wave clear fast. I know it's going to sound very sentimental, but it feels really good to cast these guys again. It has been 2 and a bit years since I have managed to cast most of these players, so it's nice to see. Spell able to demount Sweet Buns, slows down the rotation. Abathur actually just having to deal with Yrel by himself. Drug Dwarf, because no one is helping. Lockdown went a little bit deep. Hyde, focus down. Hyde is first blood, but there's the counter kill for Raider. Looking for more. There's the double onto Vivanchi. Death Strikes dropped low. Not enough for the kill, but that is a 1 for 0. That's a 1 for 2 in favor of Team Alexander. They're able to force back. Nacho takes a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to heal up and sustain his way through. Nicely defended, but again, first blood went over to Brawl is Life, but they got turned on him so fast. You can see, even with an Abathur, look at the experience difference. There's about a quarter of a level right now between Team Alexander and Brawl is Life right now. Brawl is Life need to start making that comeback soon. Make the most of that Abathur once his objective starts. They've got to delay as best they can here. A little bit of focus onto Johanna. Sweet Buns takes a lot of damage. Blind onto Sylph, shuts down any chance of a kill. Has those Laws of Hope Sins exposed, similar to game number 1. Sweet Buns going to be forced to port back to base. No, he's just going to chill. Just going to hang out for now. Going to wait it out, make sure he gets the last wave of XP. As in the meantime, Rio has been soaking up top lane, and Abathur has only lost one tower and the gate up top lane. That could be worse. He does have to leave, though, because Lockdown could absolutely come over the wall and chase him down. Drunk Dwarf, no! Run, Drunk Dwarf, run! It's the chase, and Lockdown's going to get it. That was going to happen eventually. We all knew that was going to happen due to the way it's been played. But Sylv dies as the counter killer in the bot lane. T-Tours. We all, from the way Yarel had been playing, the way Lockdown had been playing, we knew that was going to happen eventually. It was just a question of when. But Lockdown does pick up the kill onto Drunk Dwarf on that Abathur, as we see a very aggressive play up here with level 7 just acquired for Brawler's life as they begin to channel the objective. Abathur has already returned to top lane. Lockdown, though, is on half health this time, so we cannot do that again. Be way too risky here. Death strikes. Tough position, Nacho Jin. He's hovering around, waiting for him to mess up. Looks for it. Looks for it. You can see him. He's so close to being in range. Counter channels come in, preventing the objective being fully channeled. Spell with the slows onto Ryokai. Ryokai gets out though. Slows from Sweet Buzz. A multi-man slow there with the punish. Ryokai focused down. He gets isolated and picked off. He was separated from the rest of his team. He'll be taken out. The same with Death Strikes, who is low but will survive thanks to the slow of Vivanchi. But this does mean the channel will be begun. With 2 dead, the channel comes in for Brawl is life. Wait, 2 dead? Oh, Abathur died again. Alright, well, just shut me up, Lockdown, I guess. What is it? That's insane. Alrighty. Here comes the counter channel. Spell delaying them from counter channeling this by dropping the Blizzard. Now Death Strikes, though, is going to be able to zone them away. And that will allow Sweet Buns to cancel this out. Mule comes down to repair the towers as they do begin to push in. But once again, Ryokai finds himself a little bit low. Gets the shield from Abathur as they go deep. Spell and Gondar both low. Nacho Jin even low, but drops the armor and will get out of here as Hyde looks for the turnaround onto Death Strikes, who's being forced to move in. But Lockdown again isolates the team here. Doesn't get the stun of Ryokai though, who's able to kite him away. And they'll get some counter zaps here. But Death Strikes, he finds himself isolated. And this is exactly what Team Alexander have been doing all game. Finding the isolation, splitting up the team of Brawl is life and picking up the kills. Abathur is now even further up in lane. Here comes the goat. Knockdown. Okay, he's not going to dive it this time. Channel finishes up for Team Alexander. Brawl is life. Now put themselves in the position where they have to defend. They're probably going to lose top lane. It's already been weakened. Everything they keep alive, though, is something that can be muled up. So they got to be careful with this. But Brawl is life. They need to be retreating as a group a little bit more. They've been playing this really well so far, but where they've been starting to get caught out is where Team Alexander have been able to separate them. This is where the punishments have come in, as Sweet Buns eats a lot of damage here. Can they finish off the cavalry? This 4 is probably going to go down with the minion wave coming in as well. They will finish the job. Fort taken out. Bot fort taken out. That is all 3 forts in one objective taken for Team Alexander. Here comes the counter kill attempt, though, onto Hyde. Focus. Ice Wall. Flailing Swipe. Hyde is so low. Death Strikes goes for the 1-for-1. Vivanchi is being melted by Nacho Jin, but it's not enough for the kill. They trade the 2-for-1 because Abathur, he died. Oh my god, Lockdown got him again! Lockdown is insane! Lockdown is an actual god! As we see them focus down the cavalry, they will finish this off and prevent any of the keeps going down. Finally, mid-fort is finished. Abathur respawns. Death Strikes comes up here to try and bully Lockdown out because Lockdown, he's just playing his own game right now and he is playing it well. Vivanchi finds Lockdown. Not enough for a kill. They let him go. Sweet Buns is really far out of base because he's desperately trying to proxy the lane and get soak. Boss is being taken by Hyde and Nacho Jin as Spell and Lockdown show so aggressively. The mind state of Brawl is life right now is going to be there is no way. Johanna's going to see it. So the rest of the team try to go for Lockdown. Johanna, though, is going to be outnumbered as here comes Gondar as well. Sweet Buns got to be focused down and Sweet Buns will be finished here. Although Abatha with the shield, sweet buns, he's in retreat, here comes the blessed shield, they're looking for the kills here, here comes the earthquake, heal on sweet buns, bloodlust, they get the kill, Hyde is down the target, here comes Spell though, looking for the split on the team, beautifully done, Blizzard cuts off the retreat for Vivenchi, stun onto Deathstrike, and they are able to ice wall out the Thrall. Ryokai nowhere to run here, or except back to his base apparently, again, good stun coming out here from Johanna, trying to save the day. Ryokai is completely surrounded. Sweet Buns will get out. Ryokai gets a lovely slow, but he's already picked off there by the Raider. Vivenchi is just being dived by Lockdown right now, as it looks like with this boss, if they get Vivenchi and Sweet Buns, or even just Vivenchi, they could maybe try and end here. At minimum, they're getting the keep, but they are staggering these deaths beautifully right now and setting themselves up to maybe do more if they're able to pick up another kill. They don't go hyper aggressive though. It's only one keep. The armor on the core is way too high. They set themselves up. If they'd been able to maybe catch Greymane, they might have tried at least a risk of a Shadow Dagger onto the middle lane and maybe gone for that, but they decide against it. Spell is TTST. Gotcha. Thank you. TTSST. Thank you very much. Good to know. I didn't actually know that. Spell. We're going to call him Spell, though, because that's a name he's chosen. Gonna dash away, stays alive. That was risky. Counter channel comes out. Vivenchi shuts that down. Yrel's not ending the game. Yrel is hunting Abatha. May gets taken out. They dive Gondar, but Abatha, where's that body? It's there. Lockdown. He knows. He knows. He looks for it, but he doesn't. He decides not to dive. In the meantime, Nacho, Jin, and Hyde just pick up another boss. They solo it between. They duo it between the two of them. Gondar into the backline with the wind. Just Gondar locked down by the earthquake, trying to chase him down. Nacho, Jin with the slow, trying to hold the line. He's going to be the one who's focused down, but the silence comes out, preventing the kill. Hyde holds. Ryokai focused down. They pick up the kill as Vivenchi has no health left. They tried to use the bloodlust, but the kiting was too good. The silence to split was too good. They're going to be able to get the cavalry if they even want it, because right now they've got a boss in top lane and they are going for core. Earth Living Enchant coming in for the Rhaegar. They needed any extra burst protection here, and it is not working out right now because they are getting separated so often. Team Alexander dividing and conquering as they begin to focus down the core with a level 16 advantage, 3-level lead. Team Alexander pushes their way in. The core has been pulled very far back, though. This is honestly kind of the best situation for Brawl is Life to try and turn this, but there's the Ice Wall, there's Vivenchi. Deathstrikes is isolated from the team. He cannot get into this as the boss is going down. Core down to 50%. It is going to be finished off here as game number 1 is going to go over to Team Alexander, and they move themselves one game closer to those semi-finals. Nicely done, Team Alexander. Brawl is Life putting up a solid attempt there. Really going for some solid aggression, some solid push strategy, some solid hard engages. The Bloodlust composition, it has its place. It really does get good value if you can capitalize on it. But the retreats were much more grouped from the side of Team Alexander until they didn't need to be. We saw them retreat as a group and then turn around with May. We saw them retreat as a split and then isolate the chase with Stukov. This was a beautiful play by Team Alexander. No real hate towards Brawl is Life because they played that really nicely. They've just got to know when to group that a little bit more in order to turn that in their favor, because I think they played that really well. And if they can get these turnarounds a little bit more on point, they have a little bit of a shot. On 0320, thank you very much for the follow. Let's have a look at some of those stats. Yrel, that is insane. Lockdown, please. 111,000 siege damage compared to Johanna, 49k, and Abatha, 40k. Lockdown, what are you doing, mate? That is absolutely insane. What is going on here? 15k damage because all he did was kill Abatha 3 times. That's all he really did all game. He took like one fight. Wow. Absolutely insane. Lockdown really just playing his own game there. Nacho Jin not dying a single time and still getting solid damage output. Sylvanas, Gondor put out massive DPS, and Spell, aka TTSST, really putting that game on his back and getting some great splits, getting some great turns. Him and Hyde together kept everyone separated and really put that game on their side. Let's have a look at the talents. Talents-wise, we can see everything looks pretty normal here. We went for Unstable Poison. Now, this build, you can actually go with the Lost Souls, the extra cooldown reduction on level 7, but this is a more aggressive-based build with Festering Wounds. It's a little bit more burst-focused as opposed to actual team focus. And we have the Windrunner with Life Drain to maximize DPS sustainability and allow them that turnaround play. Excuse me. Just so you know, Brawl is Life have opted for first pick, so we will be waiting for the map pick of Team Alexander. So, again, the Earth Living Enchantment, little bit out of the ordinary here, but it worked. It worked for a little bit, but not enough. That extra little bit of healing, it might have been a misclick here, but I think the idea was basically just to try and keep them sustained a little bit more because they were dropping a little low and they didn't fit the cooldown reduction against the burst would work out. But in this case, that was a little bit of a rougher time, as we do see. Overall, it was cool to see. It was nice to see they role swapped as well, bringing in Ryokai as the offlaner instead of him being on the Sylvanas or the Phoenix like he was in the earlier games. He did a good job. Let's see if he keeps it. Let's see if they can keep it up. Let's see if they can turn this and bring themselves back into a game number 3 to even up the score. I'm just waiting for an invite to the map, but we do have the map, ladies and gentlemen. There is the lobby invite. We are going to be heading to Infernal Shrines as our map number 2. Nice to see. Lobby is filling up, so we'll be getting this underway, of course. You can see here Team Alexander winning Ultrarak Pass. Maps that are banned: Battlefield of Eternity, Braxis Holdout, Cursed Hollow, and Sky Temple. Meaning that if Brawl is Life are able to win this, then we are heading to either Dragonshire, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Towers of Doom, or Volskaya Foundry. Let's have a look at the bracket, seeing if anything else has been updated. Does not look like it. Forge and Alexander still going, and we are good to go. So I got to play Stukov again after all of first qualifier. He did. He managed to make his way in. I'll let them know caster is R. Because we, looks like, are going to be ready to jump in very shortly. Feels good. There it is. Wasting no time. Let's head into the draft, ladies and gentlemen, and get this underway. Welcome to Infernal Shrines, as we roll in with Brawl is Life, getting first pick and first ban. Start off with the Sylph ban. Honestly, from how Gondar played, and considering how they almost got bodied by Wailing Arrows in game number 2 of Series 1, yeah, I get it. That is completely understandable from Brawl is Life. Very sensible. There goes the Cassia ban. Let's see, ban number 2. Yeah. I'd love to give more analysis than yeah, but honestly, you guys saw the game. You all saw everything that just happened, because that was BANANAS. So we see May banned out here, preventing that first pick May coming in here. So we're going to be seeing a very different draft to last time. Let's see if Brawl is Life have isolated the problems, if they can turn this in their favor. Let's get this rolling. Brawl is Life with the first pick of the game. Where does the priority lie? Last time they were first pick, I believe they picked Johanna. Will they go that way again? Going to be seeing Tassadar. He made it through. And Brawl is Life going to be picking that up as their first pick here. Let's see if it makes a difference. That's a lot of AoE, a lot of poke. A lot of potential here, but we've already seen that Alexander, they know how to dive. It's going to be a really solid front line to protect this. In fact, they're going to go for some burst. Anna going to be coming out here. Li Ming's available. They could go for a tank early, though. There it is. It's a dive composition. They see Tassadar. They don't have to get to it. They bring out Diablo for TTSST, a.k.a. Spell. All right, then. So. Gul'dan is the cool man. I pick whatever I cool can. Nice, the Crushinator. Brawl is life. Their second picks. Fan, Blaze, and Greymane. Solid start here. They've given themselves that extra bit of protection. A very tanky front line. Urel would have also been acceptable here. It's an offlaner with heavy crowd control that can try and help protect against Diablo. They've given themselves that option here. Garrosh going to be banned. Still too strong as a tank. Crushinator, when I see you playing that, I feel like I should have Ghoul ran. For all his life, this third ban. Let's see where we go. They have Tas, they have Blaze, they're going to remove Zeratul. Remove that backline pressure, remove the ability for people just to get popped. As they take that out. Now then, Team Alexander with Diablo and Ana. They still have options for someone like Jaina, Li Ming. Who else would be good for the nano boost target? Team Alexander, Hanzo, similar to early games. We saw this in game number 1 from New Game Plus, and Zul. Now, this is interesting, though, because Zul doesn't have to be played as an offlane. Picasso, you cowards. I agree. Hanzo coming in here, but Zul, they don't have to play him as an offlane. They could keep him in the rotation and do a 2-lane rotation and just push the skeletons. So we see Imperius coming in here. Imperius has an interesting lane into Zul, where if he lands the spear, he wins, and if he doesn't, he loses. As we see Whitemane coming out. Of course, Imperius could be main tank. Either Blaze or Imperius could be main tank here. That is interesting, and Whitemane, it worked so well game number 1. They've gone for that little bit of extra aggression, those group-up fights. And there's Medivh coming in here. So Medivh is going to be playing the sort of pseudo-mage role for them. You can see it's Gondar playing it, so they're using him as the damage here. Which means Zul is definitely going to be the off-lane for this composition. But now they have the ability. Medivh Diablo, one of the most classic combos, and a little bit of a interesting history here. Medivh Diablo is the first time that, is the first composition that we really saw an American team take a game off of Korea at Mid-Season Brawl 2018. So the fact that they picked the Medivh Diablo into an American team, there's a little bit of history there. That's kind of funny. It was, of course, Roll20 Esports was the team I am talking about there. As, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed in. Let's get this going as game number 2 is on the cards. On the left-hand side, it is going to be Team Alexander. Excuse me. With Spell, aka TTSST, playing the Diablo. Lockdown on the Zul. We have Hyde on the Ana. Nacho Jin on Hanzo. And it's going to be Lockdown on the Medivh. Whereas on the right-hand side, it is Brawl is Life. We have Vivanchi on the Whitemane, Ryokai on the Tassadar, Drug Dwarf on Imperius, Sweet Buns on the Blaze, and Death Strikes gonna be playing on that Imperius. Sorry, Death Strike's gonna be playing on that Greymane. Let's get this underway. As both teams group up mid. But Medivh sees everything, shuts down Brawler's Life from going for any kind of hyper-aggressive play to begin with. Let's have a look at these level 1 talents. Standard stuff, Static Charge coming in for Ryokai on that Tassadar. Burn the Impure coming in for the Imperius. There's a Diablo on the board. It must perish. Spell comes through the portal, realizes a poor plan. Gonna be backing up. Sweet Buns. Dashes through lane, becomes a stack. Might become more stacks, becomes several stacks in fact. Scatter Arrow gets some damage done. Meantime, Zul does Zul things. Lockdown, pushing up the lane. He started off with Shade. Now it's a cooldown increase. It's a risky talent, but it's very good into the Greymane, which means you have to be more careful with how you use your shield. He's not too concerned about backlash. Tankiest member of this team is Blaze. Feels he can play around that well enough. Going to be seeing the Feast on Fear. This is a full auto build from Spell. Dives, finds the tiniest bit of terrain to land that stun on. Dash comes out, Death Strikes in trouble, Portal's there, Sleep Dart, and Death Strikes gonna be picked off by Hanzo. Portal is there for them to escape. Lockdown, by the way, rotated all the way from top lane for this, but look at the damage out that comes out. Ryokai forces him out. If he'd had Q available, that might have been a dead lockdown. The Sweet Buns. Little bit of a rough position, has to be careful. Great stun coming in from Drunk Dwarf, trying to hold. Can't be contested. Sweet Buns gonna try to hold this as best he can. He's got new habits, only one stack of his. Drunk Dwarf gonna be backing away. Portal comes out to try and finish off Drunk Dwarf. He dodges it as it's gonna be Hanzo who is picked off. Second kill of the game, and Spell is gonna be forced off as America fight back. Nicely done, Brawl is life. Drunk Dwarf retreats back to base, stays alive. As the camp is being taken in the bottom lane, Death Strike's going to be burning through that to get his team that advantage. They want that counter push. Zool with Jailers, classic talent here. Can, of course, move into so many different builds. You can move into the Amplify for maximum damage burst. You can move into Decrepify for huge poke potential. Or, of course, you can move into Weaken if you're concerned about those backline heroes. But all of it starts with Jailers, unless you go for the full main tank build with that level, with that full Spectral Swing build, Spectral Scythe build, sorry. But he's not. He's going for a Q build. He'll be going for Bone Wall here, and then be going for the Scythe Echoes here. Whereas I'm pointing, you can't see. Globe Talent coming in for Drunk Dwarf. He really wants to try and dominate lockdown in lane, and so far is succeeding. This gives him less potential in actual team fights, but honestly, this is probably the best map to do that on because you are always close to a lane. Drunk Dwarf finds the engage coming out. Portal is there. Death Strikes. He's still doing the Merc camp. He's gotta leave, dudes. Anti-heal grenade comes out. Drunk Dwarf is finished, and Sweet Buns, he must know that they have to retreat here. Eventually comes in. They drop good damage output, but they cannot fight this. Stun found onto Death Strikes. He's rolling through. Portal's there, though. Gondar is deep. Cannot finish the kill, though. As Sweet Buns, he's still here because Ryokai has arrived. Reinforcements. They delete the stacks as they're trying to hold the camp. Vivenchi dives onto it to hold. The camp is stolen by Spell, but they look for the kills. Ryokai sniped by Nacho Jin, though, and that becomes a 2-for-1. Nacho Jin is slowed, but they cannot chase. They cannot do so, but they will be able to clear up this camp. That's 2 camp steals in less than 2 minutes for Team Alexander as the next objective spawns in the top lane. Let's see what they can do. Both teams close to level 7. It's already achieved for Team Alexander. Brawl is life waiting on the other side. We have Arcade Explosion. We have Raven Familiar. Really going for the style here. Level 7 just around the corner. You can see the soak coming in here from Brawl is life. They choose not to immediately rush the objective. They choose to try and hold, try and delay. Lockdown. Will bully Sweet Buns out a bit. Plays being made. Level 7 just about to be hit. They need to make a play now, though, because it's 13-0. Drunk Dwarf makes his way onto the point. We're seeing Quicksilver Bullets, going to give Greymane that extra range so they can try and make a play. Spell tackles a minion to escape here. There's the Force Wall. They're going to try and target Spell here. There's the Portal body blocks, but it's just short of the range. Range of that Portal, kind of mental, my dudes. My dudes and lasses. Drunk Dwarf. Rough position. Ryokai's the target. Who's going to follow up? It's going to be Gondar as Ryokai getting healed up by Vivenchi. Death Strikes dropped low in wolf form. Forced to roll away as Vivenchi comes out. Drunk Dwarf with the stun to try and hold it together as they look to fight this, but Spell is just too tanky here. Death Strikes forced down. Portal down. They have to back away from this. Sleep Dart not landing as they're going to be able to tap Fountain. They have one more chance to fight over this and try and turn it in their favor. Level 7 still not picked for Imperius, dude. You've been in this fight for a while. You got to pick it. They make their way forward. There it is. Flash of anger. Let's show me your war face, Drunk Dwarf. As he tries to hold the fight, but they can't do it. 37. That's the moment to retreat. Tassadar, by the way, Plasma Shield and Arc Discharge. Going for that extra Psy Storm. Looking for any extra AoE here, but level 10 is now available for Team Alexander. Drugdorf pulls it over, but Portal, Dragon Arrow, Drugdorf on the APOC, just eaten, eventually taken out. The Portal dive is too strong as the Immortal, the Punisher, is over the wall. There's no heroes to hit to force aggro onto them, so hide as Arda kills the gate, and they blast their way through that front wall. They blast their way through that fort, and they blast their way through two members of Brawl's life. Mercenary Cap going to be trying to take it on the other side, but Lockdown, he knows and sees it's happening, and he knows the Death Strikes cannot fight him. Sweet Buns would have to come up and contest this. Root comes out. Jailer stacks would be achieved. That's a Tragul's Essence. That is interesting. Imperius has died. Ryokai is actually in trouble as well. They're going to try and contest Lockdown. Lockdown is going to be forced to back up. But yeah, Tragul's Essence coming in here. That talent is... I've never seen that talent picked and gain value. We'll keep an eye on Zul, see if it works out. Keep an eye on Lockdown. Look at the amount of he kills here. That's not a huge amount of healing here. He heals less than a healing globe from an entire wave here. Yeah, alright. Well, I'm happy to be proved wrong if this works. So you see the rotation down onto bot lane. It does mean that Zul is very much likely committing to just not fighting. Looking to fight this. Sweet Buns. Holding. They try to hold this. Sweet Buzz turning onto Spell, but look at Spell. He's just too tanky. Thank you for the follow. The Nazman as Spell dives deep onto Ryokai. Ryokai shielded though. APOC is good. Ryokai rooted down by Zul, who makes it into the fight with Shane, which means Ryokai cannot touch him. But Drug Dwarf, he can. Does good damage for Lockdown as those two trade. Portal comes out, going to force Drug Dwarf to back away. Sweet Buns, anti-heal grenade, forces him to back up. Double sleep dart. Nacho Jin, scatter arrow in the choke point. Gets one. Eventually gets saved from the scatter arrow, but killed anyway. Sweet Buns, Multi-Man stun, Drug Dwarf with the spear. They're trying to hold them under the fort to get this into a turn. A Sweet Buns focus down. Down goes Drug Dwarf. Down goes Sweet Buns. And Ryokai is forced behind the gate. And Team Alexander, they keep it alive. They sustain through, they push further, level 13 to level 10, lead is there. Here comes the Echoes of Death. And the build I'm seeing here, by the way, from the Zul, the mana sustain isn't that high because it's less than a half a mana. It's not good. It is not a decent talent. A full minion wave is almost half a mana. Sorry, it is almost 2 mana. It's not a lot, but every little bit helps. But what this does mean is if Zul just keeps spamming skeletons, then if he goes level 20, he could just go for the cooldown reduction on skeletal mages. It's an interesting talent. I very rarely run into mana issues as Zul or seen Zuls with mana issues. It's a weird pick. I would love to be able to interview him about that because usually we would see Bone Wall. But we'll see. Lockdown for now, believing it is the right choice. Finds Ryokai. Nice force wall there. Here comes the Skeletal Mages, though, trying to slow Ryokai. He has to burn Archon to live here. Will get some good damage. That is a fantastic force of will. Dragon Arrow finds nothing, but APOC will. But look at that damage from the White Mane ultimate. Sorry, Divine Reckoning coming in to try and hold him, but Drug Dwarf is chased down. Bunker comes out, but it's too late. Sleep Dart, Sweet Buns dropped low, and right now, Death Strikes. He's gonna drop here. Spell dives deep, but he just can. It is every time a skeleton attacks, but look at the amount of AoE on this side. I still find it weird. But he is also a way better player than I am. Like I said, I'm happy to be proved wrong. I will change my opinion if this proves to be the correct choice. Happy to do so, as every player should be. When you get with new information, you should change it as Drug Dwarf. Focus down. Forced to back up, as that was a behind fort gank onto Blaze. Sweet Buns picked off again. And Brawl is life. They're trying to hold themselves in it. There's the weaken. I really do like that. There is, of course, value to be said in Decrepify, but in this case, Weaken versus a Greymane and a Tassadar. Getting those Skeletal Warrior attacks is going to be huge value. Whitemane has perished. as they've dived into the exact same spot again, and this time they're able to get the root onto Drunk Dwarf. There's the Skeletal Mage to stop Sweetbug coming in for the help, but he still might make it. Double Celestial Charge, he doesn't make it into the bunker. The overpower from Spell is too good as they prevent the retreat. Ryokai has managed to clear out top lane. Death Strikes makes it back. Team Alexander, they've left Nacho Jin to finish off the objective. They'll have this pushing into a keep. As right now, Team Alexander are putting themselves in a fantastic position to make their way onto the semi-finals. Cam pushing in top lane will get value for Brawler's life if they live. So we see the push in come. Team Alexander. Scatter Arrow is good. Forceful comes out. Stun onto Sweetbud. Sleep Dart onto the APOC. Easy kill as they look for Drunk Dwarf. The execution is on point right now as Drunk Dwarf, he will Celestial Charge away. Charge into the wall, but he's gonna get out here. Thanks to the damage reduction from White Mage. Spell finally gets the kill onto Grey Mage with the help of Hanzo as Ryokai, the last bastion of defense here, will be sniped away as the full team wipe comes in for Alexander with a 50% health immortal. Punisher, sorry. They make their way onto the core, and that is going to be game number 2 and the series for Team Alexander. The ley line. Only delay is the inevitable here as Blaze will perish. The core goes down. GG's are called, and Team Alexander will be moving on to the next round. They'll be moving on to the semi-finals with a 2-0. Brawl is life. They looked really solid in game number 1, but the execution from Team Alexander was just so hard to deal with in that game number 2. You could see they tried to replicate the success of game number 1, but overall, that was just an incredible performance from Team Alexander, showing why they used to be some of the best in this game and still are trying to prove that as they make their way in playing from Korea with the ping. They were able to pull off a performance like that. Very nicely done here. That is a 23 kill to 2 game. The sheer aggression and power that came out there. The 163,000 damage Zool. Even more than the Yorel game in 12 minutes. Nicely done, and yeah, I don't know if Truckle's Essence is the right choice, but it definitely worked for Lockdown. 0 deaths. Just chasing down, pushing. He joined team fights, got solid value there. It was nicely done. Ryokai, very good task game. Very good task game. It was a solid first pick, but you could see that draft was 100% built around going for Ryokai, because that Tassadar can do so much damage if it is left uncontested. Very much respect coming out there. They're realizing that this is actually a problem, and the execution to deal with it. Let's have a look at some of these talents. We saw that percentage damage burn the Impure, really trying to deal with Diablo. It did not work. Also, yes, I love this build. He actually went for it. I've been arguing this build for months. For months, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the Feast on Fear, Life Leech, Diabolical Momentum, Cruelty, and Overpowering Nightmare, with the idea here being that if you stun someone with your Shadow Charge, then they basically cannot move. They maybe get 3 auto attacks in on half a sec, I think, 3/4 of a second to retreat between each stun. Because your cooldown reductions on your stuns are so heavy that they are always locked down. The Overpowering Nightmare here comes in because you guarantee a stun. The other option here is going for the Shadow Charge cooldown and reset, which is also very solid here, but you don't guarantee a stun that way. This always guarantees the crowd control, which guarantees the proc of Feast on Fear and the proc of Cruelty. It's very cool to see here. Very fun build, very effective. Worked out in their favor very nicely. So, that very nicely played. Ryokai, GG's. I wish you luck in qualifier number 3 if you're in it. I still believe. Let's have a look at the brackets. Let's see what's been going on over here. See if anything's updated. I'll quickly refresh it. See if anything else has happened on the other side. Does not look like it. So we don't know what's happened with 4G Sports versus Team Alexander Fan Club. But we do know that Team Alexander will move on to the next round to play against either Regen or He's Literally Won. Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's gonna be it for me today. I'm just checking something just to double check, make sure it's true, make sure I'm correct. Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a subscription with Twitch Prime or otherwise, or a donation to show your support. If I have a little bit of money, as on the fan club, thank you, Ono. If I get little bits of money here and there, then I can keep doing this. I can keep focusing on this and keep doing these very late night casts. It's about to be 3 a.m. where I am, and it's going to be even later tomorrow, because tomorrow I will not be on this channel. I will be on the Nexus Gaming Series channel, the official NGS channel. And I will be commentating the semi-finals and the finals from there. Just so you guys know, if you want to support the casters on that channel, then all subs and bits, this is what I was told, from that channel, while the casters are on there during Storm Division, then they are able... Dark Phoenix, nice. All the subs and bits when the casters are on that channel during Storm Division qualifiers go to the caster, so you can support the casters on there. If not, though, definitely check out their personal streams so that you can see exactly what they're up to, and so you can support them that way. We all work very hard. There's some incredible casters casting Storm Division. Thank you, Tixmaster, for your sub with Twitch Prime. Thank you very, very much. But I'll be back tomorrow on the Nexus Gaming Series channel for the semi-finals and the finals. For now, I'm going to find someone to raid. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Very appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow, everybody, and I'll find you someone to raid over. So don't go anywhere. I'll see if I can keep you with the esports action if there are any other games going on. Don't go anywhere. See you all tomorrow on the Nexus Gaming Series channel. I'll tweet about it when I get there. Thank you all for watching. Sub or donate if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Good night.